Welcome to this special 1TCS event for the much awaited Tata Mumbai Marathon 2023. As it is said, every great city in the world must have a marathon. Nothing binds a city better than what a marathon does. This was the same thought that fueled the inception of the Tata Mumbai Marathon way back 18 years ago. And over the period of time, right from 2004 till now, what started was a fitness revolution in India, going on to become one of the most prestigious gold label event across Asia and the biggest fundraising platform, having estimated of over 315 crores, benefiting over 700 NGOs. True to its title and to the ethos of the Tata Group, the Tata Mumbai Marathon is aptly titled as the possible dream. After a long wait of 2 years, 15th January 2023 is when we will witness the entire magic unfolding in the streets of Mumbai. It doesn't get bigger than this. 55,000 runners across 6 categories who are going to take it to the lovely streets of Mumbai. And these are not just fitness enthusiasts. We have amateur athletes as well as the best professional athletes from the world who will be running on the streets of Mumbai, aptly echoing the title of Har Dil Mumbai, Har Dil Tata Mumbai Marathon. Now, every runner is unique in his or her own way, and everything revolves around something that inspires them to run. They not just fuel themselves, but they also fuel people around them and make them to be more fitter in their lives. Today's 1TCS event is basically a glimpse of 4 handpicked runners that we have with us today, who are each going to tell you all a story about what is it that inspires them to run and lead a fitter life. A warm welcome to our guest today. I'm extremely delighted to introduce Garima Damija. Garima, a warm welcome to you. Joining Garima is Preeti Lala. Preeti, a warm welcome to you as well.
Hi, Avinash.
Hi. And joining Garima and Preeti, we have our very own TCSers here. We have with us Venkat Raman Shivaramakrishnan. Hi Venkat, a warm welcome to you.
Hi Avinash.
And joining Venkat is Smriti Mule. Hi Smriti. Hi. And I, Avinash Krishnamurthy, am honored to be in the presence of such elite athletes today. And we're trying to go a little into their lives to understand what is their success mantra for running. So jumping straight into action, our first runner, Garima Damija, is a leadership consultant and the co-founder at SDF Consulting, who helps organizations in their assessments and development of senior leaders. So Garima, from being a behavioral coach at work to coaching a running behavior, tell us in short, what makes you run every single day and what running means to you?
Yeah, first of all, hi everyone watching today. Thank you very much, Avinash, and the entire TCS team for inviting me. I'm really honored to be here and to be able to share a little part of my life and a part of my running journey. And I've been also running the TCS marathon over the last 10 years. I've done it about 4 or 5 times. So this is like really unique for me today, and I'm extremely privileged. Yeah, you said it right. Basically, you talked a lot about behaviors because that's the work I do. So my running journey has really been about behaviors, and at the moment, how I see behaviors and how they have impacted me are simple things like being able to or being sometimes forced to avoid junk food. Sometimes forcing yourself to get out early in the morning for a run. Sometimes even trying to be cheerful in difficult situations by giving out a smile. Now, how did all these come about is a journey that we talk about, but what is really important is that running has taught me to remain consistent and disciplined. And my journey in behaviors is to believe that you are not led by behaviors. Behaviors can lead your personality and change your personality. And just by getting out every morning for the past 10 years, I've been running for 10 years, I have been able to make so many changes in my own personality. I like to believe that I have evolved as a person purely because the first behavior that I changed was to get out in the morning.
That's wonderful. great to know about the behavior that actually gets people to run. So thank you so much for your thoughts. They often say that you cannot teach somebody to run. But when you have a teacher who's running, I'm sure the students are in deep trouble, right? So that brings us to our next runner for our day today, Preeti Lala. Preeti is a passionate teacher by profession and is a certified yoga instructor. So Preeti, quickly, my question to you. From teaching lessons in history and geography to scaling geography and rewriting history, take us through your running journey. What is it that fuels you to run every single day and be fit?
Yeah. Yes, teaching, like teacher has to learn also as well as give some lesson also. So running always, while running with some running buddies, you learn from them. While teaching, you are setting a motivation to the others, to the upcoming new generation. And as I am into teaching, I have all age group around me, like from old age to the young generation, where I teach the subjects in the coaching class. And setting geography, yes, exploring new all places, looking around and participating in the marathon, that takes through the geography. And history, creating some new records, new participations in new events, that is what all this marathons is going around with me. So everything can gel together. It is even setting a discipline towards the children. When children ask me, "Arey ma'am, for long runs I'm getting up Sunday early in the morning. How are you managing?" So yes, it is no Saturday nights, but some discipline to our this. We are, and it's for our own benefit. And this is how I enjoy the journey of the running. Thank you.
Very beautifully put. It's the discipline that makes us get up every day and get running. Thank you so much, Preeti. I quickly move on to our TCSers who are sitting to my left. So our first TCSer is Venkat. Venkat is a senior consultant and enterprise architect with the NGM Group in India. So Venkat, in the IT industry, it's often said that it's very difficult to balance between a very demanding job on your work front and then yet stay committed to the cause of running. How do you manage to do that, Venkat?
Okay, so I'll start by saying that initially, maybe 7-8 years ago, when running was not yet a habit or a part of my day-to-day life, I have skipped runs. I have, tended to take the easy way out. But as it grows on you, as you start enjoying it, as you're into it, and as it becomes part of one's life, I've started actually prioritizing and also calendaring my runs. So, for example, that's one thing. So calendaring your runs, and let's say the morning half of the day is inconvenient, then trying to, find other times when you can, do the run. So that way, what works for me is I tend to run in the second half of the day. It's always, the 7 to 8 window or the 6:30 to 7:30 window, depending on where I am and what I'm doing. The other thing I want to, definitely say here is, along with running, it's got me closer to enjoying music. It's got me closer to, listening audiobooks or my favorite, favorite titles or tracks. Seldom, I try to avoid it, but sometimes I have also taken calls while running. So it's not that I'm completely unavailable when I'm running. That also, and it has also given me a lot of focus and concentration. So that has helped me get a better hold on my life. So in other words, running has helped me get hold of my schedule, actually. It's the other way around. So that's all I want to say. Make it a priority. And the last thing I want to say is, if you can't, there could be days when you can't run. There is an issue, you have to look at it, or, you have to, work on a presentation. So if you can't run, then please walk. And if you can't walk, then, please climb the stairs. I try my best to, incorporate climbing stairs. I seldom use lifts, and I always try to use the stairs. So that's a kind of forced exercise that's always there. So these are some small tips and tricks that have worked for me. And most importantly, when it becomes a habit, it grows on you and then you don't miss it. So
that's very beautifully put. Look for reasons to run than excuses not to. and keep it flexible so that you can run during any part of the day. So good key messages, Venkat. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Quickly going to move to our other runner here, who also is into an equally, if not less, demanding portfolio. So Smriti heads the strategic units for the TCS Ion. So my question to you, Smriti, would be that, heading one of the most strategic units in TCS, what is the strategy that you would formulate when it comes to prioritizing running on top of 100 other things that you would typically have on your table?
I must say, Avinash, you have strategically worded the question. Very beautifully done. So the strategy is simple, make it part of your life. So as a kid, I was always cutely plump. That's what I would like to call instead of calling myself fat. And fitness and sports was something that was ingrained into me by my parents to remain, on the fitter side. And at that point of time, I used to find running always boring, right? And then Mumbai Marathon happened to me, which was about 13, 14 years back, and I promptly registered for the dream run. And I prepared for the dream run and prepared for it very seriously. And I happened to meet up with celebrities and the TCS leadership team at the first dream run I participated in. Next year, I promptly registered for the dream run again. And that's where I learned that the TCS leadership team was running the full marathon. And I decided, hey, if they can do the full marathon, I should at least attempt the half. And since then, my marathon journey has begun, and I've done over 20-odd half marathons and few triathlons and few swimathons and stuff like that. And, it's basically helped me take that journey to a completely different level. Just extending the question on strategy, well, I would want to say one thing, extending from strategy to planning, that it's important to plan, but not important to micro-plan. So what I'm trying to say is that I run, but I don't run at a specific point of time in a day. I run when it's possible, when I have the mood and when I have the intent and I have the energy. So that's what keeps me going on this journey.
Thank you, Smriti. Very beautifully put. Plan your runs and run your plans. I think that's very aptly titled. So wonderful having gathered the initial thoughts from all our runners here. We now go into the second section of this live event where we deep dive into each of their lives. As we mentioned, each of them bring on board a very special story that is very unique and individual to them. So the second section which we have today is titled as The Running Journey and the Success Mantra which each of them have. So we're going to take a quick deep dive into each of their lives, find out what is it, that success mantra that they have which they would like to share with us. So I'm going to quickly relate to Garima. Garima, most people would have had the privilege of starting early. You took up to running at the age of 40, right? And from there, you have finished as the top 10 women runners at the Berlin Marathon. And I think you've also qualified for the most prestigious Boston Marathon, which really, really calls for an effort. So tell us about this running journey you've had so far, Garima, and what is it, the fuel that gets you the success mantra?
Yeah, I think this really is always the part that gets to all of us. It's being able to look back. So I'd like to say that my story is a story of moving from cheerlessness to commitment. And I'd like you to think of it as a movie and envisage a little girl who was in school, a teacher's pet, front bencher, always scoring marks, and really into reading and writing and painting and things like that, which you do within walls. And I did that forever. I did a graduate degree in honors, I studied masters, and then I got a job and got married. Pretty usual. Now, after that, something happened. I had a little baby girl at the age of 27, and within 1 year of that, I lost my mother. Now, this was something that I was experiencing, which I realized later was a little bit of a trauma, because I had some postnatal depression, and then I had to deal with my mother's death. And being the kind of person I was, I realized that I was going through melancholy or sadness, what I call cheerlessness. I was really not very cheerful. And this went on for a few years. I was working full-time, not to say that, and I think I was performing really well in my job, but there was no sense of cheerfulness. So I sat back and reflected on what really is happening and what could I do. And that brought me to yoga and running at the same time. And I started to practice loosely called pranayam, which is breathing practices. And I started to run completely on my own to deal with what I was going through. The first time I ran was a 100-meter run. I was completely out of breath, and I ran it in the night, so nobody looked at who I was and what I was wearing and things like that. And thereby, I think that impetus of what running gives you, because I very strongly believe that it releases happiness hormones. And that 100-meter became 200-meter, 500 meters, 5K, 10K. And this was like Avinash was saying when I was 40. And in the last 10 years, I'm soon going to be 50 in 2 weeks. And in the last 10 years, I would have easily run, I can't remember, but close to 100 half marathons. And I think about 15 to 20 full marathons. From there on, to be able to make myself proud by qualifying for Boston and being some of the top runners in Berlin was really a hard journey. It isn't easy. It's easy to envisage and say you start from scratch, and then you've done this. But it's not an easy path. It's physically grueling. You have to be able to remain committed to running. You have to be able to remain committed to your nutrition, to your family, and to work all at the same time. And we are not professional athletes, so we do so many other things other than running, right? So what I learned in the process about myself is that, one, I'm goal-oriented, achievement-oriented, and commitment drives me. Now, whatever I take up, I know that I'll be committed to it, and that'll sail me through. And I think I have left, for the time being, at least my cheerlessness far behind. And you will see me very, very cheerful and highly committed on a day-to-day basis.
That's very beautifully put. Thank you so much. So from a state of cheerlessness to being always in a state of happy and being committed to all different spheres of life that all of us are daily juggling. Thank you so much for these insights, Garima. I'm quickly going to move to you, Preeti. Preeti, you've represented India, right, in the 24-hour Asia and the Oceanic Championship 2022. And I think your team finished second.
Right.
I think that's no small feat by any means. And what I also understand is 2013 is when you started running your first 10K. Right. So take us through the journey from the 10K over the next 10 years in a decade to where you currently are and how you've managed to achieve all of this and more.
Actually, this journey started like every woman thinks ki I am too fat, they keep on looking in the mirror. And yes, I was like, I have my pics like before and after. This is what I was wearing XL, from XL to coming to the small, this journey. So fitness started first. So I started visiting gym and all. Next to my gym in 2013 only, there was one hoarding saying Pinkathon was there. And there they said you have a chance to see Milind Soman. Now I think obviously all girls will be behind it. I registered myself, 100 rupees registration it was, and I said, ki chalo, let's me. Somehow I couldn't run that entire 6 kilometers, but I enjoyed it. I just, of course, seeing Milind Soman, apart from that running on the roads, people coming and taking out your pics and all, this gave me some different motivation. Then it slowly, then I went into it. Of course, Facebook and all, I saw the photos, and then it came through, ki 10K is there, then to qualify for 21, you have to do compulsory 10. So the journey began from here, 10, 21, then 42. Somehow again I came to know about ultra, and they told me nothing. I just questioned, what is 42, ultra? So they said, anything above 42 is called ultra. I said, let's do ultra, let's see if I can run. I'll at least walk and come for 12 hours or 8 hours, 10 hours. And this is how it began. I did 12-hour stadium runs, few of them in Hyderabad, Mumbai, Bangalore I have done. Then even I have done 2018, I did Khardungla Challenge. That is the 72K highest motor accessible road. Because that time, 2018, I missed the registration for Comrades. That is the ultimate human race of South Africa. So I thought, what to do? I'm just getting into the ultra running. So went for it. 2019, again, I got a chance for Comrades. And 2019, I did. 2022 also I did. And in between 24 hours, I did few of them in Mumbai, Bangalore. And historical was in Mumbai in 2021. There 13 men, and I was the only one woman participant in Mumbai Stadium run, running for 24 hours. and I clocked something 193.
Wow, that's amazing.
And the men's team was almost 42 kilometers behind me. So that was a wonderful achievement. To qualify for the Asia Oceania Championship, you need some kilometers to get qualified, and I was, to my strength or the Mumbai's, you can say, the support and all, made me do. And I qualified for the India Oceania Championship, which I represented our country India in 2022 in Bangalore only. So it was a wonderful achievement by the girls' entire team, and we got a good chance to meet and learn also from the other fellow runners and all. And our Indian women's team, we bagged the second position in the females team. So women has a strength, so we should go on for running. Yes.
Commendable and inspiring. Getting inspired from a poster outside your gym to incrementally building on that and eventually representing the country at the Oceanic Championship. I think it is certainly a journey worth every bit. So thank you so much. Thanks for sharing this journey with us. Quickly going to move to Venkat on my left. So Venkat, you completed, if I'm not wrong, 2 full marathons and over 30 half marathons. And that is when life threw a surprise at you, where you were diagnosed of cancer, right? Now, anyone in your place would have just maybe lied at Leelavati, looked at the ceiling from a distance and said, okay, that's a distant dream for me. What did it take in you? What was the grit? What was the courage that took in you to think of yourself like a phoenix rising out of the ashes and battle everything and then say, okay, I am going to do my full marathon in 2023 with TMM. Please take us through this journey, Venkat.
Sure, I'll try to recap on some of the thoughts that remain with me. So things were going good. I started my running journey, as Avinash said, somewhere in 2010. Progress from dream runs to half marathons. Inspired by colleagues, leadership team. Went on to do the first full marathon in 2016. TMM, and then the second full marathon in 2017. And in fact, in 2017, I bettered the timing by about 10 minutes. I was very happy to shave off a good 10 minutes. And things were going on good, and life threw a surprise, like you rightly said. And a week after I ran under the hospital, the route runs through Mahim, and I, remember, looking at from the hospital window, seeing the bridge, the hospitals on both sides of the road, and just remembering that a week ago, 2 weeks later, I was on the hospital bed, coming out of the ICU and after a long surgery, and wondering if I will ever be able to even, walk and life will be normal again. So that was the scenario. And at that time, a couple of interesting things happened. In the previous full marathon, when I had gone to the expo, I had picked up a brochure of the Ladakh marathon. And my family simply came and pasted that in front of my hospital bed in the hotel room. That is one thing. And second thing was I could see the ceiling, like you described, from a distance. And it was actually a beautiful sight, and I was actually considering myself privileged to get that view as well. And suddenly, it dawned on me that, and frankly, I think it's completely family and friends, close friends. But it dawned on me that it's how you look at it. And soon, within a couple of weeks, I was discharged. I was back home, nursing myself back to health. And my family encouraged me to go out for walks. Don't sit at home all the time. Please go out. So I started my regular activity, even while I was undergoing my radiation and other treatment. I maintained the habit of 30 minutes, minimum 30 minutes of, a few kilometers for 5 kilometers. Go out, take a walk, you'll feel good. And believe me, I felt better. There were days towards the end of my treatment where I felt I could not get up and go, or I was feeling very much down, or other side effects. And I remember having just taken that little bit extra step and then gone for the walk and come back and felt much better. So I'll remember that. And the second thing is, when running, we have this mantra. Some of us runners have this mantra that, of course, your legs support you and your other muscles, your heart supports you. But the most important muscle is your cheek muscle, and you have to keep smiling. And if you're smiling at the last 100 meters, that means you've had a good run. So again, that helped me. I tried to keep, smiling through 2017, the whole year. Until 2018, I did not do a single kilometer of running. I must have done a lot of walking, but no running. And the next, my friend, one of my very close friends in TCS, encouraged me to say, no, you can surely, you've done a full marathon in 2017, just come, you'll be able to run. And I remember just having registered on his insistence and then having done the 2018 half marathon. And completed it in, about 2.5 hours or so, and I was pretty happy. I must have walked some distance, but I was okay. And then the same friend encouraged me to take up the 25 kilometer. There was a Borivali, small community run type thing. I took up that. And then it dawned on me the belief that, yes, I could actually dream bigger. I could start dreaming again. And then I registered for the Tata Ultra that year. And it was amazing to, run the Tata Ultra in the Lonavala and Khandala hills. And in fact, in 2021, I'm just jumping the story a bit, but in 2021, I was absolutely fortunate. On 5th December 2021, I've had the best view of the Milky Way when I, rose up from the hill at the highest point. I've never had seen such a beautiful sight. So all this make me believe that, it's great to be alive. And this is what, keeps me going. And this, coming back to the story of Ladakh half marathon or full marathon, I'm aspiring to do the full. I had registered for the full. However, last year, since it was the first time and high altitude, I did the half marathon in 2022. And hopefully in 2023, I'll take up the Ladakh full marathon. And then I'll take it from then on. This year, I'm happy to attempt. I would still say I'm happy to attempt the full marathon. And let's see how it goes. All runners know that every day is different. And, value every step, and we take it step by step. I think that's all. And keep smiling and hang in there. That's all I'll say is my story. Thank you.
Wonderful, Venkat. Beautiful pearls of wisdom you've given here. Keep the smile on, one step at a time, and just hang in there. Wonderful. Great. I'm going to quickly move on to Smriti. So Smriti, again, if whatever I heard from the introduction, you can very well be called the poster girl for TMM, because that's where all happened, right? You got inspired into running from the Mumbai Marathon. But I think from there, your journey has really peaked. It is not just running, but you're true to the name of a fitness enthusiast. You've taken up cycling, you've taken up swimming, you've participated in multiple swimathons, cyclothons, and I think you've done a triathlon as well, right? Please tell us how fulfilling is it to be participating in all of this and yet have to manage such a grueling work life? I'm sure it's not easy, Smriti. Behind that smile is a lot of effort that goes in. So please take us through your journey. We'd be happy to hear.
Thanks, Avinash. Again, I think very nicely placed question. So yes, I've evolved my journey from being a runner to a triathlete to, I've been doing certain swimathons, etc. And every time I look at why am I doing this, it keeps, coming up or popping in my mind that it's important to keep the why in perspective, right? So when I evaluate the why in perspective and I think back that why am I doing this, firstly, the impact that this sport has brought in my life, whether it is physical fitness, mental fitness, or even philosophically, as Venkat was saying, knowing that there are good days and there are bad days. And most importantly, spiritually, knowing that I'm much more than what I am, right? So that gives you immense confidence. I know people around me, tell me about it, that you seem to have grown in your confidence. And I would like to attribute that to the sport that we're talking about out here, right? Another thing that gives me inspiration is I seem to have inspired my husband and my mother to have taken up marathon, right? My mother retired, at the age of 60 from being a school teacher. And she picked up another thing called running at that point of time. And she's running the half marathon again this Sunday, which is day after tomorrow. She's 67 now. And this entire journey inspires me further to continue this journey, right? So that's what I would like to say.
Beautifully put. It's not just on you, but it's rubbing to the family, and everyone is getting towards a fitter life journey. So thanks. I think it was truly inspiring hearing all of your stories. And what is beautiful about it is, though it is very unique to all the four of you, there is one central message which I think we all are able to look at it, and that is that how much are we able to give to the sport, and how much can we draw from the sport that keeps us on track, right? So I think very beautiful stories. Thank you so much for narrating it so well for our audience here. So that brings us to the last section that we have here. This is basically looking at the runners from a very different lens and asking you all, what is it that is one message that you would like to give out to our viewers over here? Because we have a lot of people who are apprehensive about running. We have a lot of people who have a lot of fears in their mind to think about how do I go about running, etc. So I'm again going to go one after the other after you all. So Garima, what could be your message for our viewers here, and at the same time to also all the participants who are going to be running the Tata Mumbai Marathon on the coming Sunday?
Yeah, it's an important question, and I'll take off from where Smriti was talking about having grueling schedules. I think everybody watching is in a demanding job. There are no jobs that are not demanding these days. And I think what I have specifically learned, specifically during the pandemic, is how important well-being is. All of us have experienced that when we were challenged, our well-being was challenged. What took us through were two big things. One was some kind of a hobby. Some of us, like some people, like in my household, there was a lot of bread baking. I used to hide and run in the night when nobody was looking. But you needed a hobby to take you through that difficult time. The other thing that took us through the pandemic, as far as I know, is connections. Connecting with people. We were doing Zoom calls with relatives and families, etc. Now, if burnouts and grueling schedules and difficult workplaces are going to be continuing, which they will, because we all also are achievement-oriented, we want to succeed, we need to balance it out with some sort of a hobby. I understand that this forum is about marathoning, but I also know that picking up any hobby, remaining active, is something that's really important. It could be just moving around all day, doing your calls while you walk. It could be just a morning walk you take every day, an evening walk with your kids, your spouse, whoever it is. But I'd just like to say that ensuring that well-being through connections and through a hobby, if you can combine these two things, it is wonderful. Running does that for us. And one, I know you asked for one, but I'll offer another one, is I think it's a very old adage. When I was in school, they used to say, a healthy mind resides in a healthy body. Now, it sounds very simple. It's like a textbook thing. But it's real. It's very real. And it actually means a lot. If you start to work with your body, start to move, you will realize how your mood changes, how your emotions change. And like everybody's been saying, it's a little bit about smiling, happiness, about being able to deal with those everyday challenges. If you start to move, no matter what you do, you swim, you cycle, you run, you walk, you do yoga, play a sport, do whatever you fancy. But move, because once your body is healthier, your mind will be healthier. And if both of these things are aligned, in sync, you will also see the positive reverberations in your family and in your friends.
You've beautifully touched upon how moving our bodies is going to move our good mind, and then how we can influence a circle of people around us. Thank you so much for your message. I'm sure our viewers watching here are going to think, reflect, and start moving, right? So thanks for that. Preeti, quickly going to move to you. What is your message for the viewers out there?
Message like a teacher only. Yes, we all have prepared for this exam, upcoming Sunday exam. All students are not same. Some will get a better timing, some will get a later. Don't get disappointed. This is not the end. It is just a motivation. So just go with the rhythm, enjoy the run, enjoy the view, enjoy the Mumbaikars around you, see the enthusiasm, and love yourself. That is what the most important thing. Wearing a smile, stay positive, and love yourself. Thank you.
Wonderful, beautiful messages given, and you've somewhere captured the whole city's texture through your message, where you're going to experience Mumbai in the run more than anything else, and do it best with a smile. So thanks a lot, Preeti, for your message. Quickly moving to you, Venkat, what's that special message you're going to give to our viewers and to all the runners at the Tata Mumbai Marathon?
So I'll just say that, many things in life are like a marathon, right? A marathon, there is in fact an English adage that says marathon task. So why that adage comes, one realizes only when actually one does a marathon. No matter how professionally trained one is, the last 10 kilometers, some say that the marathon starts after 35 kilometers or 30 kilometers. So at that point of time, you start convincing yourself. I'm again saying what I go through when I do a full marathon, or maybe towards the very last part of a half marathon also sometimes. That, you start telling yourself, okay, let me take one more step, let me take one more step. And then bit by bit, you cover the distance. So like that, when we are faced with very big challenges in life, at work, try to take it step by step. Don't tire yourself out in the initial phases. I mean, restrain and conserve energy and go for the long. Have a longer vision, have a longer thing. That's the message, and value every step. I was just looking at the step counts today morning, Avinash, and just the activity, the heightened activity of the last couple of months. I am glad to see I've clocked almost 500,000 steps, in the process of the last month. So it's the value of every step. I think we don't realize it, but it's that one step that we need to take to move forward in life. And that's it. I think that's it about probably why marathon is so important, an integral part of my own life. Thank you.
Beautifully put. I'll just reiterate it. So a step-by-step approach to get done with your marathon tasks in life. So beautifully put, Venkat. Thank you so much. I'm going to quickly relate to Smriti. Smriti, what are your thoughts? What would you want to share with our viewers in terms of your success mantra and the message you would like to give them?
So it's very simple. Believe in yourself. You have infinite potential and you can do it. All you need to do is aspire. That's it.
Wow. Really, really nice. Inspire and have infinite potential. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Smriti, Venkat, Garima, and Preeti. I think beautiful messages for all of our viewers to kind of reflect upon. I think we kind of come to the closure of this wonderful interaction, and it's really inspiring to see each one of you and your stories, and me sitting as a moderator feel very privileged that I've been privy to such stories, and I'm sure our audience also who's watching us over the Streams channel is also going to be really, really thrilled to hear such live stories coming on board today. Right, so I would formally like to conclude this entire session here by quoting our Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. N. Chandrasekharan, who has been instrumental for not just the organization here, TCS and Tata Group, but for the many others running, by providing us such a beautiful platform like the Tata Mumbai Marathon and many other races, not just in India but across the globe, that we sponsor, and we encourage the whole virtue of running together and community building. So he says, and I quote, run your own marathon and don't get distracted by somebody else's sprint. I think it's a very profound statement that he has left all of us with, which actually fuels all of us back in the company to run and to do great. So again, thanks to each and every one of you all who've logged in, who've taken time out today, been a part of this wonderful event, the One TCS event that we are broadcasting today. And of course, our best wishes collectively to all the runners who are going to be participating this Sunday in the Tata Mumbai Marathon, which is going to be broadcasted as well. So ensure that whoever runners whoever runners who are going to be running this time, ensure that you're cheering them, you're supporting, and if possible, get out on the streets of Mumbai and feel the energy, verbatim over there. So that's pretty much from us. Thank you so much. You've been a great audience and you've been great panelists with me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm not privileged to be here.
Absolutely. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.